Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Four Corners Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Valley Uno.
And I'm your host, Diesel, the Love Locomotive.
And I'm your host, Miss Mai.
And I'm your host, Tusa.
Yeah, we welcome everybody to come join us again for another episode. And we want to start it off by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We know that motherhood is a challenging position, and we just respect y'all, salute y'all for staying in the fight.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers
watching. Yeah.
Maybe y'all can put y'all mother powers together and get this delay off my damn screen.
That's out of our control, okay?
Oh man.
So how was everybody's week?
It was good. Good. Yeah, no complaints. Everything's been everything. Yeah.
Busy week. I had a busy week. A lot of graduations out this way, so the hotel has been packed and a lot of moving parts, but it was a good week. It was a good week.
UD's, how's yours?
Shit, I'm stuck in a job that I totally hate. I want to start my business and work for myself and no other motherfucker.
You'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate my job. I hate working for people. I hate the expectations. I hate my coworkers.
Okie
I hate Baby Smurf.
Right. I'm Grumpy Smurf. I hate every motherfucker. Everything.
Oh shit.
And so to get myself right in the screen, do I need to move away from my green screen or towards my green screen?
Geen scheme,
Right.
geen scheme. Geen
beans.
Ed Geen scheme.
I like how you got mama behind you. I was trying to figure out how to do that myself, so I just put purple in the sky.
Yeah, that was nice too. That's nice. We can't have a tribute to mothers without a tribute to our mother, right? So
No doubt. No doubt.
Uh-oh.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, for me personally, and I know this is it's across the board really, and not just for us, but for anybody that has lost their mother, it makes Mother's Day a lot more challenging. Just looking forward to it when it's coming up, and having to embrace other people that are current mothers. It's not as easy as it once was. It takes a lot more to reach down and say, okay, I'm gonna put a smile on my face today because there's other women out here that are mothers and parents that deserve to be honored on this day, even though it feels different for me. You know what I mean?
it feels so different, and I'm glad that you're acknowledging that, not just for our family, but like you said, for the other people who have lost their mother also. And it's real hard. It's like even moving up to the day, people just knowing that they get to go somewhere with their mom, and that I never get to do that again. It's not a jealousy, but it's just a yucky feeling that sits inside of me because I know I don't get to do that anymore. And you hear people who, oh, I'm taking my mom here, I'm taking my mom there, I bought my mom this, and it's just like, dang, it still doesn't sit well. So it's very hard.
Yeah. Even seeing the little vendors out, the street vendors, selling the stuff, and just anything that's relative to it, it gives you a feeling, you know what I mean? And
it does.
Like I said, it's hard to look at it the same. Man.
I don't think we ever will. I always say these 3 months, May because of Mother's Day, June is the month she passed away, and July is her birthday. So it's like a constant, and not that we don't deal with it every day though. So every day we are faced with the fact that our mother has passed away.
Right.
The good news is that we know that we are making her proud. by doing this, just doing this podcast in itself is something for her to be proud of, to see us getting along and actually coming together on something. I can just imagine how excited that would make her feel. You know what I mean?
You call this getting along? No, yeah. No, but no doubt, yeah, she would have her pom poms on for sure. You know, as she used to say, rah rah, shish boom
Yeah.
bah. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
she put the pom poms on for everything that we're doing right now, and yeah, that's for sure. It's a good feeling to be able to do this, knowing that it's not just for our personal growth, but it's in an effort to honor her and as you know, the fruits of her experience as a woman. You know, we represent her in doing this. So
We do.
it's a, you know, I guess that's the one good thing we can take out of today. We know we're using our platform, something that honors her, to represent her, and something she would be proud of, like you said. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. That being said, I wrote a poem because I was having so much anxiety that was built up. Like I said, just getting built up to this day. I have kids. They want to enjoy the day with me, but it's hard for me to celebrate because I want to celebrate my mom, but I did channel my energy into a poem. So I'm going to read it for you guys.
Okay.
Okay. So bear with me when I'm reading. It says, Mama, Nana, sister, friend, you wore many hats. Heaven knows you are all of that. A strong woman with a soft touch. Words can't describe how we miss you so much. Your advice and calming words, or saying to me, you got your nerve. Never bougie, yet full of class. Even when you're on the phone with Auntie Darlene, yelling, kiss my ass. I find myself remembering your ways, lost because we can't share the rest of my days. It's hard not to cry. It's hard not to ask why, but I try. I feel robbed when I see others hanging out with their mothers. I get mad, but still I'm grateful for the time we had. Nothing can prepare for a loss like this. Life goes on, but something's still amiss. So much I want to tell you, so much I want you to see. Now all I have is memories. I can honestly say our family is not the same 5 years later, and we're still in pain. But don't worry, your living was not in vain. We have learned to dance in the rain. Hashtag Nana Strong, forever your legacy lives on. So I'm screaming this out loud. Mama, I promise we'll make you proud.
That is so beautiful.
That was lovely. Yeah.
Oh.
And thank you for sharing that, you know, because I could see that obviously that was some emotion centered with that. So we appreciate you sharing that. Yeah.
You know I'm a titty baby, so
just don't get the blow in your nose and we'd be all
right. I had to write something. I had to do something. It's hard. And it's not just hard on Mother's Day. It's hard all the time because when stuff happened with the kids, I want to call her and tell her something's going on with the kids. When something's going on with me and I want to choke people at work, she was real good at helping me to try to stay calm in the workforce. And now that I've advanced at work, because she kept telling me like, you're going to make it. You're going to be a manager. You're going to get it. It's going to be your time. Like, and I wasn't listening back then. And so now that it's already happened, it's like, damn, I wish she was here to see how I've advanced at work and stuff. So anyways.
She sees it. She sees it. She just can't say it to you, but she sees it. Thank you, Nancy, for your comment.
Yes.
How you doing today?
Yeah, I remember I used to call my mom on my way home from work because she just has that peaceful energy about her, and it was a good way. Somehow she would help me to decompress from the day. You spend a long day at work, putting on a face, dealing with all the bullshit when all you really trying to do is earn a living, and carrying that stress on your neck, and just being able to get on the phone with her, I could forget about all that shit. You know what I mean? So that way, by the time I come home, I didn't really left work behind me. She just had that energy about her to where, like how she'd always say, "Look on the bright side." And sometimes it'd be hard to see that, but just that energy itself, and it still remains to this day. But I appreciated it. That's just one of the areas in which I appreciated it.
That's one of the reasons why remembering her is not, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's always going to bring a smile to your face no matter what, because she was positive overwhelmingly most of the time, and always had that encouragement, and said those type of things, and the main thing I remember, like when all that shit happened, like I literally, not saying you guys are chopped liver, but I felt like I didn't have nobody to talk to anymore.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that.
That's how much talking to her meant to me. And so like I felt like I had nobody to talk to when that shit happened. I was like,
Hmm.
I can't believe, like I don't got anybody to talk to anymore.
Definitely
Yeah, because you could talk
understand.
to her about anything, is what it was. You knew that for sure. You could say whatever was on your mind or your heart, and it was going to be received. Um, and even if it was some craziness, she was going to correct you, but still she was going to receive you with love at the same time. And you weren't going to be judged, for whatever you said. Like I said, she'd get on your helmet, but she wasn't going to look down on you and judge you for it, though.
Right.
That's
Yes,
one of the. Go ahead, sister.
Those are the
that's
good
it.
things too, though.
She was our cheerleader, but she was also our drill instructor.
Right. You weren't gonna say hey, if it hurt your feelings, it hurt your feelings.
Right, 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 right. And that's why I put in my poem, because I was saying she would always say, "You got your nerve. You got your nerve." And she didn't have a problem checking me. Oh, she would check me smooth. Okay.
Right.
But again, like to Valley was saying, the fact that she was just so non-judgmental about everything. Now just take a look at the Fab Four, okay? we Each of us been done. we the Fab Four, but I mean, damn, we couldn't make parenting easy, okay?
Yeah,
No, no,
but,
not at all.
but the amount of love that she had for each of us, like, is just unsurmounted, and it can't be matched. That's the thing. It's like you said, these how you had that feeling of aloneness. It's like, I know no one's gonna be my cheerleader. I know no one's gonna be my voice of reason like she was. I can talk to you guys about anything, and I know you guys are there for me, but it's nothing like how she made me feel. And I just
No,
it's
because it's some of it is the wisdom and life experience that she possessed.
Yes, a lot of it.
We can't match that. You know.
And the wisdom she had from others before her. And
so I also was saying, like, some of the things that I remember most about Mama, since we're doing the tribute. One of the things I remember most about her was her hugs, her soft hands, and her laugh. She had a very distinct laugh.
That's why we all have distinguishing class.
Yeah, just loud laughs. But she was, of course, a loving mother. She was God-fearing. She was a hard worker. I remember her always working. She went to work. She took her tail to work. That's what she did, is she worked. And just getting to and from work
Absolutely.
had to be a
Sometimes-
task. And then, was a task for her.
She still got
And
there.
then she did. Like she literally would catch the bus from Citrus Heights to downtown. And so I have that to remind me also, like, how blessed I am and how grateful. It's like I'm out of excuses if I think about how she went to work. There's no reason for me not to be a hard worker. And then she cooked and she baked.
And she made clothes.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Mama did it all.
She made our cheerleading outfits for the cheerleading team when we cheered for the Chargers.
She
Okay.
was ready to kill them ladies, though.
But I mean, just imagine, 'cause I can't imagine working, like you said, sewing, cooking, and doing all this stuff and maintaining a full-time job with 4 kids. Like,
I was about to say, that's before we even get to the shit that we was putting her through.
oh my God.
You know? Yeah.
And then I appreciate her willingness to help with my children when I was hit rock bottom. She was just there for my kids in a way that it shined through them still. I can't take full credit for the accomplishments of my kids because all 4 of my kids have a lot of Nana in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she touched her grandkids.
I didn't even realize to what extent, like, until at her memorial, just hearing them talk, my kids in particular, just hearing them talk and speak from the heart and had their own personal memories and viewpoints of her from their experience and their interaction with her. And it's just like, that was one of the things that always stuck out with me, how she was able to spread herself so thin.
She was the
but
leader
still
of the gang.
abundantly at the same time. It was crazy.
I mean, a true matriarch.
She was the leader. She was really the leader.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm saying?
it's like how each and every one of her grandkids had their own special relationship.
Right.
She was able to love on them all equally. That takes a lot. You know what I mean? That takes a lot. That's a lot of kids.
Nobody was left out. There wasn't
no
I don't fuck with this grandkid, or this relationship's rocky with this one, and or even with us, the same thing as far as us 4. You know what I'm saying? It was equal amongst all of us.
It was. It was. And I'm gonna close out my.
I'm gonna just put this up here real quick. Shout out to Corey. She said, I know y'all mother is proud of each and every one of you for having the courage to still do this podcast today and being so transparent. Happy Mother's Day. Y'all siblings continue to stick together, and may she continue to rest in peace. So
thank you so much. That's beautiful.
I
definitely appreciate that comment. And it did take a lot. It's hard. But I wanted to share 3 things that always stuck with me too, that Mama was saying. She said, anything that you get from ill-gotten gain, you're gonna lose. She said, there's no honor amongst thieves. And that was one that I used to argue her down back when I thought I was such a hell of a hustler. I was like, there's honor amongst thieves.
All we got.
We out here in these streets.
You lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas.
And that was the last one, bro. That was the last one. I said, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. Let me tell you something about them 3 things that she used to tell me. When I thought I was really doing something by being in the fast lane, those things didn't matter to me, but it's those type of sayings. Now they stick to me. It's like, ooh, it's etched in my heart. I understand it. But when I would argue with her, I said, you ain't never been in the life. You ain't never been in the life. You don't even go to clubs. You don't know. but she knew. She
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just love and miss her, because she knew. She knew.
Mhm.
She was wise beyond, and she's a perfect example of you don't have to do something to know that it's no good for you.
Mhm.
She knew. She
Mhm.
knew.
Well, she had 7. What was it? 7 siblings. Something
He
like
gonna
that.
make us count. It was a lot of them.
I was about to say, how many is it exactly? But
She was almost. There was only one, or there was only 2 older than her. So
It was 7. It was 7 total.
yeah. So
Yep, 7. Mm-hmm.
right, and that's just guessing. But yeah, she had to raise her siblings. Because her mom died when she was 16. I want to say.
16. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So our grandmother died when she was 16, and life stopped being about childhood at that second for her.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
Where
And
all
I would
that
imagine
wisdom-
it was like that for all of them. You know what I mean? Uh, as far as life stopped being about childhood, because I mean, I just know the impact of losing her as an adult. I can't even imagine what that
Oh,
must be like as a child.
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
And then, the siblings splitting apart. You know what I mean? No matter what, we were raised together.
Mhm.
Once we got older, we've been together. You know what I mean? Like we're
Mhm.
so, but they had to go where they could go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
um, that's
It's
another
hard not,
thing.
like Maisha was saying, just not having her around and having to face that reality is
It's a hard pill to swallow.
every single day. Not
I ain't gonna lie, it angers me at times, like
You heard
yeah,
my poem. It's
yeah.
hard for me not to get mad. It's hard for me not to be mad because I see people with their moms, or I see older people and they're still here. And I'm like, for her to have had such a good heart, how could the heart be the thing that took her out?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
But
it's like, well, congestive heart failures,
Yeah.
and COPD, but it's like
she
she
died
had
from
a good
kids
heart.
that she didn't even earn. She never smoked, and the people
Right,
around her smoked cigarettes and
right, right.
ruined her health basically.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's definitely a tribute to her, just everything that we do, us keep going. Uh, it's um it's what she would want us to do. It's what she showed us to do.
Mhm.
If we think about all the stuff that if we think about the stuff that she went through in her life, she was never bitter. She always kept going. So
Right.
it's like, what do I got an excuse for? How do I have an excuse at this point? Like I can't, there's no excuse for me to hate another person. There's no excuse for me to quit or give up, because she didn't. She didn't.
Mhm.
She never did.
Mhm.
Even when she had oxygen. And I was thinking about that too whew, when I was writing and just thinking about her, and I was saying, like, I can't imagine what it would be like to have to carry oxygen everywhere you go. Um, but you wasn't leaving her behind.
Right.
Hell no, you
You
wasn't.
you was gonna pack up the oxygen tanks, and she was going with us. You know what I mean? And I love those memories.
She
I
kept her
love,
independence to the last second, and
yes.
Mhm.
that's what makes it hard, just seeing her fight like that. And I don't know. I think we all knew things were serious with that oxygen and all that stuff, and I don't know. That's why, like when Tavon says it makes you angry and stuff like that. We all know that she could still be here. It's just I don't know. I blame myself. I blame just not being more vigilant. Maybe I don't know what to say, but we know that she could have still been here, and that's why it's really hard to deal with.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Well, I will say this: her energy lives on.
Yes, it does.
Even in our own personalities and the way we interact with one another. At the end of the day, everything that's sitting right here, it all started with her. You know,
It did.
um, and she lives on in that regard as well. You know.
Yeah. And I just want to send a shout out. Don't get it twisted. Boy, mama was off the chain. When it's time to check a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, what did you say the other day? If my mama was good with a shoe. What did you say? Something
My mother was like Clint Eastwood with a shoe.
And a grit her teeth while she getting on. God damn it!
she used to hate it when it would be bedtime, and me and Kasabi would go in there and we would start talking, right? And then we would always be laughing, and she would say,
that damn snickering.
Like you said, that shoe came Eddie Murphy mama style around it. It was like it was a boomerang.
Who got hit with the boot? Who got hit with the boot?
I got hit with the combat boot.
And then that time, I think it was Tavon kept cussing, and she could hear. She said, "I hear you, you filthy mouth kid."
Hey, I didn't understand how. I'm talking about. I was going because I hated John Madden from his inception. I'm talking about like from the day one, and I've been cussing him out forever. And I was, and I'm talking about under my breath. She upstairs. This is when she stayed in Orangewood in the townhouse. Okay, she's upstairs. I don't know how the hell she heard me.
She could throw her ear. Okay,
right,
she could throw her ear around the corner.
Crazy.
As she said, she could hear a cinch piss on cotton.
Right.
Remember that time she threw water on you, Diesel? You need to cool off.
Hey, like I said, that's why I said I gotta send a shout out because those times, oh my God, that shit makes me laugh so hard when I think about them Dirty Harry times.
That's hilarious.
She never called me out of my name, but this one time I had called my mother-in-law a B word because I was mad about something and I felt, and I said, F you F and B, and hung up the phone. So she called mama and told mama, oh my God. She called me.
I did not praise you.
And that was her partner too. So she really wasn't going for
exactly.
She said, you fucking bitch. I will get in the car and find a way to come to you and kick her ass. I said, you know what, mama? Click. Oh, she was hotter than fish grease.
Right.
I called and shortly apologized because, I was wrong.
Yeah.
He was famous for saying, I didn't raise you that way.
Right.
That was her epic line. I didn't raise you.
And the thing is, we know, but the AI kicked in at some point. We went on autopilot at some point.
And once we got there, we stayed there for quite a while.
Oh shit.
What we can say though, we're lucky to have these kind of laughs. We're lucky to have the bond we have with each other. We're lucky to have been so blessed to have her as our mom. There are people whose mothers are still alive that don't have relationships with their mother. And so we're blessed. We really are blessed. Yes, it hurts. It hurts so bad, but it's nothing like her. It's better to have loved her and lost than never to have loved at all like that, because it's genuine.
Yeah.
So Savi, real quick, if you want to get a photo up,
yes,
you go inside your phone, you go to Google Photos, and right here on StreamYard, basically, if you was to say, you go to settings, you'll go to virtual background, then your upload a background. When it asks you to upload, basically you want to upload whatever device you're using. You want to upload your photo from Google Drive. I know you got photos on Google Drive.
Yeah, I have a photo right here that I want to put up, but I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Are you at your Google Drive?
I'm on my Google Drive on my phone.
Okay, click on the photo and see what the options is.
It says share, manage access, add to star, make available offline, copy link, make a copy, send a copy, open with, download, rename.
Open with I try to open it with photos, I guess. And then maybe save it there. And then because when you go on here, are you on your laptop?
I'm on my phone, laptop and phone.
No, I'm saying, what is your StreamYard on? Because that's where you're gonna put the picture.
Oh, I'm on the laptop.
Okay, so access your Google Drive. Go to where it says plus next to your StreamYard and add another tab. Plus the tab. Add another tab. Now
okay, add what?
No, just plus next to your StreamYard. There's a plus sign to add another tab.
Okay, yeah.
So open the tab and go to your Google Drive.
Okay. Dyslexia right here. Google. I was trying to figure that out.
That's okay. And shout out to anybody who was in the chat, Nancy, Corey, and Dina. Thank you for tapping in. We see you all.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Did you go to your Google Drive?
Yep.
Okay, now download that picture from your Google Drive to your computer.
Okay.
Or save it in photos. Save it to where you know you can get it somewhere where you know you can get it when you get ready to present. I mean, not present it, when you go to settings in StreamYard.
Okay, hold on.
So while they figure that out, I know you had shrimp and grits going on this morning, Maisha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the extent of it? You just had a fancy brunch, or y'all got plans later on?
So we're gonna do a sip and paint later at the house. You know, like we did when you guys came to Atlanta.
Yeah.
We're doing that later on. But this morning the girls they all made breakfast this morning. So it was sausage, bacon, shrimp and grits, waffles, and scrambled eggs, and mimosas. And there's so many flowers downstairs between what Shanisha got from her kids, what they got me. It's just flowers everywhere, which I love flowers. So and then Shanisha got me a nice picture frame with a picture of me and Nana together, and then pictures of her and I all around the picture of me and Nana, and a really nice, and a really nice frame. And I got a glass coffee mug that says "Because I Said So" #mom on it. And it's one I needed a good cup for work, so that was good. And a candle and some wine. So yeah, it was nice. I really appreciate the girls. Even Nimani, she got in the kitchen too today and kicked in. So a very good day. Very good day.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Did you figure it out? Gotta talk. You should have been said something.
No. Okay, I'm back. I got the picture right here. I downloaded it. Now what do I need to do?
You go to settings on StreamYard.
Okay.
And then you'll go to virtual background. And then you'll go down, scroll down, to to the plus sign. And then it'll ask where you want to plus it from.
Okay.
All the way down at the bottom, it should be photos. If that's
When
what
I hit the plus, it just never mind. Go ahead because you're doing a good job at saying it. So
all
let
the
me
way down at the bottom, it should say the words media, and underneath that have a camera and the word photo next to that. Did you hit the plus sign?
I guess it depends
Yeah.
on your setup.
I hit the plus sign.
Okay.
And what do you
Because-
see? What do you see?
On the
I
left
see my
hand
other
side-
stuff that say
No, don't look at the pictures. I'm telling you what to do.
Hold on, Dees, because what you explained to her doesn't come up on my computer when I hit the
Right.
plus sign.
Okay, well,
So
don't
she
look at
might
the
have a
pictures,
different setup. Let's see what she has.
though. I only got one picture in that when I do that, but I got 100 pictures on my computer. It doesn't matter. You got to go to the destination.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying though. When I hit plus, it doesn't show me pictures at all. It shows files, and it's by
Exactly.
last month,
Yes.
all of that.
You know why?
So if yours looks,
You know why, though?
out. If yours looks,
I got it.
All you got to do is hit the today one.
Because if you go to it, check this out. You see these things up here, these squares, and
How
these
come it's not
arrows?
on there, sis? There
At the
we
top.
go.
That's how you depend on how your layout is, right there.
But I still can't see
That's why
mama.
everybody's layouts are different.
Yeah, you're how you're sitting. That's why I had to be careful with what I picked, and y'all gonna have to
You
excuse
didn't
me.
listen to me and go to photos. Fuck looking what's in the thing.
That's the photo I wanted to put up there, but I'll put a different one up there because they can't see mama. I know
Well,
how to do it now.
You shouldn't even look at the body. Doesn't really matter. It's what if it's down there on the media. You could have looked at all the media instead of just the one picture you had in here
Okay.
for future references.
Yes.
Right. Right. So, does anybody else have anything they wanted to share that they may have done the tribute to Mama?
I
No,
just want.
No.
I'm done because it's too emotional.
Right.
It's very emotional for me.
It is.
All day
It is.
stressing out.
Very emotional. But I can say this: Mama was the best person in the whole wide world, and my kids are good because of her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Hard show, tough to do this, but it kind of feels good.
Turn that goddamn shit on.
Woo! Oh shit!
All right, so I guess we will move on along to our next part of our show that we have today. We are covering people who had a positive influence. So, or maybe you could use the verbiage that we used in the title.
People of profound influence.
There we go. Profound.
So, yeah.
And for the record, my parents love my craziness. They both love my crazy. You know what I'm saying?
It has been embraced.
Look, how can you not? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
anytime somebody has the power to make just anybody say, man, that motherfucker crazy.
Woo!
You gotta love it. Yeah.
Okay, so somebody introduced their profound person of influence.
I I don't know. I thought you was gonna go first, Sav, or do you need a minute to gather yourself?
Yeah, let me gather myself.
Okay, okay.
You
All
gonna
right.
gather, you gonna gather yourself on
Shut the fuck up,
that.
nigga.
Uh, so for me, I chose Huey P. Newton. Um, and of course that's somebody that the majority of black folks and just people in this country period are familiar with. Um, but I think the role that he played in spearheading the Black Panther movement, or we'll call it what it was actually called, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, because it was a political party, although the media has painted it out to be something else. I just think that he played a pivotal role in the shift in how things moved in this country that led to some of the progression that we see the results of today, as far as where black people sit in community, political office, and all that kind of stuff right there. I think he played a big part in that. So that's why I selected him. Um, so I thought this was pretty cool right here. So just to give a little background, I think it was 1966 when the Black Panther organization was founded by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. Uh, they came together and they had some ideas on how they could protect the people in their neighborhoods and educate the people in their neighborhoods, to keep them safe or have a wall of protection from the police brutality that was going on. And although the United States painted these people out to be, mercenaries, they might as well been other
Terrorists.
other countries looked at them in a totally different regard, and it talked about Huey Newton in 1970 was invited to visit China, and he was welcomed enthusiastically by large crowds holding up copies of quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong, as well as signs supporting the Black Panther Party and criticizing U.S. imperialism. So people that had a different viewpoint were able to see the movement for what it was, because they already were able to see what America really was at the time. Yeah. Um, he was an educated individual. He stood up against law enforcement when they tried to use the law to their own benefit. And, he was big on trying to make changes in the law that didn't suit the people in general. He said the laws should be made to serve the people. People should not be made to serve the laws. So yeah. And now we're gonna kind of get into some other stuff, because this thing right here, it says, I do not expect the white media to create positive black male images. And when I was doing my research on him, I've noticed that a lot of the stuff that even I had seen previously, it all paints him out one dimensionally. And what I mean by that is all you get is Black Panther Huey. It's he's got a gun, or he's sitting in the chair with the rifle and the spear, or he's giving a speech here. All that is good, but none of that gives you any insight into the man. There had to be some sort of positivity that existed inside of him for him to basically put his life on the line on a regular basis for the promotion of black people. Okay, that's actually out of place. But yeah, how many of you knew, because I didn't know, that Huey P. Newton was a husband?
I
That
didn't
he had
know that.
it's a picture of him and his wife here. That he had children, 3 kids, in fact. So he's a husband, he's a father. He's not some political terrorist as the media has painted him out to be. There's far more depth to this individual than what we have been shown. And I feel like he was a example of black strength, I like these ones here. That's why I picked these ones. He's got there, he's standing in front of the Panther headquarters, ready to defend. He's got the shirtless pic here, where he's showing that he's in shape. He's ready to take on the battle if it comes. You know what I mean? Just an example of that strength. So we have the image. This one here with him in the chair. I think everybody who knows his name has seen that picture.
Absolutely. But nobody's seen the other one.
Nobody's seen the one next to it.
Right.
Right. How he's out there embracing the kids in East Oakland. They have the what do they call it? The free breakfast for children program. They taught people how to read, all kind of stuff that the Black Panther Party was involved in. And it's just a shame that the country we live in has a history of painting people out, as something they're not to the public. And really their effort to do, the reason for doing that is because they want to make it easier on the public eye when they take that person down or that group of people down. But, again, there's facets to it. So one of the things that that I heard people say was that, oh, Huey P, he became a drug addict later on in life.
The police forced that onto him.
But I think who's perfect? You know what I mean? Who's perfect?
This generation can't say nothing about drugs.
Right.
No, because again, this dude, he went and got, now mind you, when he graduated from high school, okay, he graduated from high school and he wasn't literate. He had to learn to read after that. And he still went on to go to Merritt College, where he earned a bachelor's degree, and then he eventually earned a PhD in social science from UC Santa Cruz. So nice. Again, I think it's an example of a strong black man in the community and what he could do. So he wound up spending some time in prison. And the majority of that time that he spent in the stints that he went there was spent in solitary confinement due to his Black Panther status. And it's been said that the impact that had on him was the real responsibility for his mental decline that ultimately led him to drug use. So with that being said, we all know his eventuality was he wound up being murdered. And he wasn't murdered by the CIA. He wasn't murdered by some crooked cop. He wasn't murdered by some racist white man, but he was murdered by an individual from I don't want to say rival, but a different Black community group, the Black Guerrilla Family. I don't even know if they qualify as being a community group, but nonetheless, though, he was murdered by an individual from the Black Guerrilla Family. And it was a brutal murder, shot him, I think it was 3 times in his face. But the thing that stood out for me, I want to see if I can find it. I think I saved it. Give me a second.
Guerrilla Family is a prison gang.
Well, they might be now, but at the point in time that this happened, they had street impact in Oakland, California. So let me see here. But yeah, it was what he said to the individual before he shot him. And I was trying to make sure I got it right. Okay, I didn't save it. I thought I saved it. But what he told him, he said, "You can kill me, you can take my life, but you can never kill my soul. My soul will live on forever." He understood the impact that he had already had in the Black community. And dude shot him after that. He took his life, but we see that he lives on, because that was in 1989, I believe, when he was murdered. And there's been movies and documentaries and books, all kind of stuff published and put out centered around the Black Panther movement and Huey P himself. And he continues to live on. And I think a lot of people have been influenced by the impact that he had. I know that I'm one of them. That, you know, it's important to be educated when you fight against tyranny. It's important to do it, you know, with a measure of strength and self-respect. All that stuff stems back to the image that they put out and how they went up against the walls that was put in front of their communities. So that was my person of profound influence, Huey Percy Newton.
Nice. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing that he had other sides to him, because I think that, you know, we always hear the main ones, you know, the main people who were active back then. Everybody knows who Huey P. Newton is, but no one bothered to really dig deeper behind the surface. So thank you for sharing that he was a family man.
Right.
And, yeah.
I don't know, being being Black or African American, however you want to call it, it's frustrating because when it's really said and done, we are truly our worst enemy.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to see it that way, you
Right.
know. Yeah, it's easy to see it that way.
The lack of unity, you know, looking back in the brothers of the 60s and 70s, man, there was unity. Brothers was out there. You know what I'm saying? They was pushing one line and one understanding, you know, and it wasn't all this separatism and 12 different ways to look at, you know, things. And oh man, it's just crazy that the unity's gone, and that we, like, because since I think it was 40 million blacks back 60 years ago, it was 40 million blacks in the US, and here we are 60 years later, it's 40 million still. You know, like, our numbers haven't increased. Our you know, we're not flourishing. You know, yes, there's rich niggas. But the money doesn't blind me from the reality of our people. You know what I'm saying? The majority of us are still broke and poor. So, so what? There's a nigga rolling around in a Bentley. That doesn't signify all of us.
No, it don't.
The percentage of millionaires, white, black, purple, green, man and woman, is only, I think, 12 or 13% or something, or 7-8% of the population or some shit. So it's not even a lot of rich people anyway.
Period. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'm next because nobody else ain't got shit up there.
Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. You are next.
You are next.
All right, man. So hold on. Yeah, so I chose Muhammad Ali for similar reasons. I don't really go with the Muslim faith or nothing like that, but you know, game recognized game, and you know, the things that he said resonate. You know, he made a lot of sense to me. So and then you know, just even if you just read this quote, it says only a man who knows what it's like to be defeated can reach down to the bottom of his soul and come up with the extra ounce of power it takes to win when the match is even. I say that a lot of times because these, you know, a lot of people nowadays think they're getting slapped in the face or knocked down or beat in a fight, or like it's the end of the world to people now. You know, like you never take a loss in life. Somehow they got this facade in front of them where they think that taking a loss defines you. You get what I'm saying? And it can, you know, it can, but it's you know, if you lose a battle and you see the flaws that caused you to lose, it's like he said, I bet you know how to win next time.
No doubt.
But I don't
and
go.
You're gonna keep learning a lesson until you do.
Right. And I didn't go in depth as far as like Tavon did or whatever. I just put a couple pictures up with a couple of his quotes. Let me see. I don't know why this slide looks like this. Can you even see the whole thing?
My slide won't work, so
It
that's
says,
what I was.
okay. He was like, I hated every bit of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. I have to say, that's probably what I'm going through now in life. You know, I hate the shit. Like I was just saying at the beginning of the podcast, I hate shit, but I'm just trying to stick it out because I know I can eventually get to where I'm trying to go.
Right.
That's a good way to look at it, though, bro.
And then just him being an activist, you feel what I'm saying? I want to say this is Medgar Evers he's with right here, and Dr. Martin Luther King, and then I just threw a little picture of him in the thing or whatever. But the brother was deep in the game, and when they stripped him of his title because he wouldn't go into the military, you know, and he was like, man, what I'm gonna go over here shooting at these Chinamen for, and they ain't never called me no nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he said, and he said he's like, what I look like fighting for a country, going over here and put my life on the line, and as soon as I come back from deployment, they're gonna call me a nigga.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, Muhammad Ali, he was outspoken, and that, like I said, that resonates with me because that y'all know me very well. That's my type of personality. I can be withdrawn sometimes, but I'm only withdrawn because I know I'm not received well. I'm controversial, you know what I'm saying? But
Well,
yeah.
I think
Go ahead.
I think Muhammad Ali, he had a lot to say back then, and he was speaking out in a time when people didn't want to hear it, and he had a platform, and they wanted him to be used for their agenda, you know, boxing and going to the military, and he stood up and he said, no, I'm not going to do that. And so back then that was a big step to take. You know, he wasn't all about let's get the fame and the glory.
Yeah, promote this cereal for us.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that was a big deal because you got to think all he went through to reach champion status, and knew he had to put that on the line in order to stand on his principles. You know, I'm not going to war. My enemy lives right here in this country.
And that shit crushed him too. Like he went through a big deal behind that, and it took a lot for him to maintain his composure and stay his course. You know, it's hard making a decision like that you know that could potentially destroy your source of income, your everything, basically, all your foundation, basically, everything you built for all these years since he was 12, 13 years old. He been boxing. You feel what I'm saying? So that's his livelihood. I think it's saying, you know, he put all that on the line, and eventually he came up out of that and succeeded in what he was trying to do.
Very good. Both of those presentations were good. I like that you guys tapped in. I think we're kind of militant. I was trying to.
Oh yeah, you already know we Black Panthers.
Right. So having watched four out of the 5 Dear Mamas, I was trying to have Afeni Shakur as the person that I did my presentation on, and I have the pictures, but I can't get the slide, and my technical support is not here right now. So,
she's right along with Huey P and all. She right in the mix of all that.
Real talk.
Definitely. So that's when he was talking about it. So my person of choice is Afeni Shakur, because I think that she had a lot to do at an early age. The amount of reading and the amount of how let's just talk about her representing herself with the Panther 21 is what I was going to
representing all of them, basically.
Right. And how she decided to become her own lawyer, and how nobody thought that was a good idea, but she ended up winning that case. and being, and it was because she wasn't scared to read and she wasn't scared to challenge. And we all know her as Tupac's mom, but the things that she did on the backside also, while not just while being pregnant with him, but before getting on drugs and taking that turn, she was also out there with the Panthers, helping to try to feed the community, helping people to read, like Huey P. Newton. They stood for a lot of things because there were people that didn't have places to go. It provided them a place to go. And she was, for a woman to be as involved in the Panthers as she was, is a big deal, because women had a place then, but she was very outspoken and she stood up and she made a lot of sense. She was knowledgeable and they respected her, and she held several positions in the Black Panther community. So I think that's who I was trying to speak on. And I do have.
Well, her place was in the struggle. And I mean, I kind of disagree a little bit about women had a place, because like those women then were different, and they knew that the men had a goal for the betterment of our people, and she stuck with that shit, and she rolled hard with that shit through all the punches, and like almost lost her freedom for her. She was looking at a life sentence for that shit.
Well, it's been said that one of the things that made the Panthers organization attractive to the women back then is because they went out of their way to treat women with respect and consideration and dignity.
Definitely.
Versus what they would receive in the everyday world on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So for her to step in and be this powerhouse on top of that, it just says a lot about who she was.
And she was outspoken like Tupac, so they thought that she wasn't going to be able to represent them because her emotions would get in the way, or her fire inside of her would override her intellect and due diligence, so to speak, as far as representing the trial. But she showed everybody, like, I could shut up.
She was very intelligent.
Yeah, I could shut up to handle this business. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And I can tear you down intellectually and intelligently, not just from an ignorant standpoint or whatever.
No, not at all. She joined the Black Panthers, Black Panthers in April of 1969, and she was accused of conspiring with 20 other Black Panther Party members to carry out bombings in New York. Afeni Shakur defended herself in the so-called Panther 21 trial, earning an acquittal on all charges after serving a total of 11 months in jail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And I think that watching that Dear Mama, oh gosh, it was so deep. It touched at my heartstrings for a lot of reasons, not just because I watched what I already knew was the spiraling of Tupac and how sometimes the company you keep is either going to make or break you. And the desperateness in him trying to do what he wanted to do, but being torn because there was a responsibility that was placed on him from the Black Panther Party, wanting him to bring in the new Black Panthers. But back to Afeni, he had so much respect for his mother and the things that she taught him. He couldn't understand why she had got on drugs, and he knew he needed her to be the person that she really was to help him along his journey and the role. So that's I wanted to pick her for this Mother's Day, and because it's Dear Mama over here today, so I thought that she was a very strong, influential person in the role that she played in upbringing her son and giving him all the intelligence. I think we talk about that a lot on the show, about the importance and the responsibility that we have as parents of what we feed our kids. And she fed it into him. She drove it into him. So she was a big deal. She was a big deal. So shout out to Afeni Shakur.
She was off the chain.
What up to the chat? We see y'all.
We do see you. Thank you for the happy Mother's Day wishes. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Tony.
I read Sada Shakur's book. That's common literature in prison wounds. But what's
the title on that?
I'm not sure what the
'Cause
title
that's what I
is,
was just about to ask him.
but I definitely read it though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my person I was talking about is a
Oh yeah,
hometown
it's just self-titled. Yep, right.
is a hometown hero, and I of course can't get my video to come up, but her name is Miranda Johnson Sessions, and she is a producer at PBS KVIE, and she brings a cultural programming to this community. And I have something I could play.
Can
So
you
you
tell me
can-
her name one more time, please? I'm sorry.
Miranda Johnson Sessoms, SESSOMS,
Okay.
and I'll play the video. I can't get it to come up.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us.
It's about to play right now. Oh shit. Come on now. Anyway.
I'm really just trying to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to be heard. We are change makers. I always say that change can be having an effect on one person, and that person changes a person, and that person changes a person. And you kind of set a mold. And so having the ability to be able to be a voice for those that may not be seen or heard, I think it's something that in my job as a producer, I have to look deeper and find those stories. They can't just be on the surface. I mean, in every culture, storytelling was what took the culture to the next step, the next year, the next journey. And I think the more stories that are told, the more change happens, because we see a perspective of people in all different dynamics, in all different forms, in lives that we may not understand. You don't always connect with every story, but you find something that helps you to either educate yourself, gain some knowledge, or maybe just smile, and to have the opportunity to have a small part in telling someone's story. I think it helps them see themselves in a different light that they didn't even see themselves in. And I think being able to have the ability to be their voice, to give them a platform, I think it creates change. And I'll take pride in saying I'm a change maker, in the sense that I'm kind of that vessel that's helping to be able to create the change through other people's life experiences and stories, triumphs, good with the bad. I'm kind of just a part of that journey, a small part of their journey. My name is Miranda Johnson Sessoms, and I am a change maker.
And that's who I chose because she's a hometown hero. The Sacramento Bee did a profile on the change makers in Sacramento, and she was one of the change makers in Sacramento. And it had a list of, it was 25 people that they talked about, and then they also had 5 groups of 5 organizations that were making the change for Black people here in Sacramento. So I thought that was something that I wanted to share, because I watch PBS quite often, and I enjoy a lot of the shows that come out. You know, that's the only time you see anything that of ethnicity on TV that you can learn something from. So that's what I wanted to share.
Pretty good.
Okay. I was trying to
Pull her up.
yeah, and it actually was on YouTube. I found it, but
Oh, it
you
was?
already found it. Yeah, because we could have been able to play that if I would have knew that. But
Play the one you got on YouTube.
well, I mean, I don't got it on YouTube. I'm just saying, if I would have knew when we were doing this earlier pre-show, I could have been able to put it in the presentation. But she said it wasn't on YouTube.
Miranda, how do you spell that?
Yeah,
It's
my R.
Miranda. It's Miranda.
Marinda Johnson Sessoms, Sessoms. They went on to talk, the first black mayor of Citrus Heights and the first black mayor of Rancho Cordova. They
Who
also
she? What do you mean? Who was?
they talked on the change makers on these 25 black people in
Okay.
Sacramento.
A black mayor in Citrus Heights.
Yes, it's a woman.
Unbelievable.
It's a
Unbelievable.
woman, and the black mayor in Rancho Cordova is a black man.
Man, that's what's up.
Yeah.
What up, Miko?
What's up,
she in
Miko?
here writing in Spanish. Hola,
I see her.
¿cómo estás, mi familia?
You know she's famous for that. She's "Hola, como estás" is her line. Okay.
Mm.
She's a black Cuban. Cuban Tamiko.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cuban tea.
Yeah, I told myself I'm gonna sit down and do a online class on learning the internet, a workbook for dummies type thing.
All you got to do is come to my house, or I'll come over there and I'll give you a crash course. And the incentive for you to pass the course is you get your ass whooped if you don't.
Okay, well then you need to bring your ass up over here and put me in class, because I hate not knowing how to do something. It infuriates me to where I want to pull my hair out when it's right in front of my face and I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know how I got the pictures up.
I made my presentation on my phone. I made it on the phone about Afeni, and then I go into my go on here on the computer, and as I'm trying to do it as a presentation, it keeps going in the corner and saying your presentation cannot show up, and I'm just like, this is so stupid. But nonetheless, I got out what I needed to say, so I'm not going to make a big deal about it.
Touching back on her though, I thought the Tupac, I don't even know if we can call it a Tupac documentary. Shit.
Right.
It's about him, but there is so much background about her and the Panthers movement that it just gives you so much insight into who she was. It's like
he is her.
He not just Tupac's mama. She was one hell of a somebody before that nigga was even born. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And see what the whole purpose was to destruct the black community, was to push the drugs into the community so that it would take down the unification that was coming from out of the black communities, because at that time, that's when we were the strongest. Those people, we were about to take off, and then drugs hit and took the community all the way down.
Well, there certainly was an agenda that they had.
It definitely was an agenda.
They had, and again, we have to be careful, because just because that's someone's agenda doesn't mean we have to bite onto it. It's just the circumstances that surround living in the projects and being poor and black is depressing. And so self-medicating seems like the easiest thing to do sometimes. It's the wrong thing to do, but it's the easiest thing to do. And that's why a lot of people do end up on drugs. And it takes them off of their divine path.
Yeah, because that self-medication part comes in when you're stagnated, you're stuck at a standstill mentally. You can't see nothing in front of you that's worth you continuing to move on. And that sort of depression is what causes somebody to self-medicate. It's never that somebody's like, hey man, drugs is the shit,
Right.
I ain't gonna say never. There are some people that are addicts that they probably got into it in that way. But I mean, a lot of times it's usually some other shit that's involved, Yeah.
That was that was made in a lab, and realized that the harm that the addiction process was so instantaneous, they were like, this is what's going to do it. And they pushed it into the black, and all it took was for a person to do it one time, and then they're hooked.
What are you talking about?
And that's what happened.
Because you said it was made in the lab. What substance
Crack.
are you talking? Okay, all right. Yeah.
Crack is what took the black community down at that time. I mean, it hit hard.
Yeah, like Woon said, even the Warren Nam had motherfuckers on dog food. So yeah, they was, heroin addicts coming back from their deployment. By the time they come back, they already hooked.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can imagine though, imagine being dropped, on the other side of the planet and having to fight a war, and let's call it what it is, and having to kill countless people and see countless people on your side getting killed.
Someone sitting right next to you getting their head blown off, or
What that's gonna do to you mentally?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, fuck it. Let me take anything that's gonna close that off, because I'm tired of seeing these flashbacks in my mind.
Awful. It's
I
awful.
can easily see how that happened.
Well, and a lot of the drugs, I know that they say that Hitler gave his army of people drugs so that they wouldn't sleep, and so that it would make them angrier. It would be easier for them to kill people because they're in, they're in that mind state already.
And that's why these young kids today are getting into that mind space, because they're on everything. They're on uppers, they're on downers, they're on roller coaster rides all day long. Okay. And their mind don't know which way is up and which way is down. I mean,
little retarded motherfuckers.
Oh, no slack was given.
None.
I look at the kids when I'm at work, and a lot of them resonate down there at the Golden One Center, at the DOCO Center, and I just was like, these poor kids, they just don't even know. They just act a fool out there, just tearing shit up and just no couth at all.
Well, I had an epiphany kind of when we had all this conversation and the Black Panthers came up again. Back then, it was hip to be in that limelight, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was infamous for us because of the way the media portrayed it. You get what I'm saying? Even though it was infamous, it was the thing to do, like the place to be, so to speak. The crowd to be up in and all that. And nowadays, in order to reintroduce unity amongst our people, we have to trick them into thinking it's the place to be. We have to create some sort of environment, some sort of image that people want to follow and be a part of.
They got to see the effects of it, is what it is. People could readily see the effects of the Panther movement, because I get what you're saying, that like even in conversations, in group conversations, if it goes to a certain extent of, for lack of better term, woke shit, a lot of people just gonna tap out, like, hey man, I'm you ruining my high. You know what I mean? Whereas at that point in time, like you said, it was hip to be the brother on the block who was kicking the science, who understood law, who had the balls to stand up to the police,
who was able,
things along the line,
open and carrying a weapon and protecting people.
That's what I'm saying. How could that not look like a big deal? They were armed and the police were armed, and that's the thing that people don't really understand. Like you said, it was glamorized at that point. Instead of having to glamorize looking at drug dealers pulling up, or pimps, players, and hustlers, they were able to glamorize that party. You know what I mean? And there were broke people. There was broke people in the neighborhoods that they were going in, and they were being of assistance.
but
So,
they felt relevant. The community felt relevant because they had the protection against the police that they hadn't had previously. They had people who were willing to go pro per and help them in legal battles, and people that were giving them medicine and clothes and food. You know, and these were big deals. You know, to say you can say that there's not nobody starving in the ghetto right now, that a hero can't show up right now and feed people in the ghetto, and
right.
you know, those things are still needed.
We definitely need that.
Right.
It just takes somebody being
rappers
willing to take a stance. Instead, it's easier, like how Woon had put in there. It went from heroin to coke to crack to pills to Xanax, lean, keep them doped up. It's easier. It's more people out there willing to push the drugs because they want to see the money than it is to push change.
Right.
If they were pushing change like they were pushing the dope, then we could see some results.
Right.
Well,
and you know, my thing with that is like, and I don't know, I this might sound crazy, but depending on an individual's circumstances, I don't always have a distaste for people who deal drugs. If that's what it takes for you to, you know,
it means
to
to
be
an
able to
end.
provide for yourself, I respect it. But we keeping it 100. It's young men coming out of middle class houses, middle class homes where there is food in your refrigerator.
Right.
You do have shoes on your feet. You do have toilet paper to wipe your ass. Why are you selling dope?
Right. Or even
greedy.
Even more so, even the ones who are doing it for the, you know, the reason, like you said, to put food on the table, and doesn't mean that you can't do, but be a some source of hope in the community as well. You know, let's take a look. Nip knew that he had to get out there and sling some dope. He got out there, he was banging, he was slinging dope, he was doing them both. But he also flipped that around and was able to, you know, put the money away for a greater cause and be a voice at the same time. So you don't have to be one-dimensional with it. You don't have to be stuck on stupid just because you did that.
It's about your motivation. If your motivation is greed, you'll never think along those lines, and that's what I was getting at. You know? Yeah.
And he did that early on. They did that shit way back in 2007.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
there was a reason for it.
They weren't like, they were already invested in other shit besides rap before his career necessarily even took off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so it was a means to an end, and he wanted to, you know, like he said, when he went to Africa, back to Eritrea and all that shit, and his dad made them go back or whatever,
yes,
and their culture and all that shit, it changed the way he looked at himself. You know what I'm saying? It made him want more for himself overall than what he would have wanted. You know, because I mean, I don't know how black men are so tricked by the outcomes of the streets. You know, like where are all these success stories from the streets?
Right.
And even the stories that get glamorized, it's like, yeah, how many years that nigga did in the pen?
Look at Boosie. He just got caught with a pistol. If in California, if somebody else don't take that case, he for sure finna sit down.
Who?
California, Boosie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he for sure gonna have to sit down.
Yeah. You know, and it's crazy when you think about the gun laws in California. They can hide behind whatever curtain they want to hide behind. But the reality is the gun laws in this state, they began with that overwhelmingly strict push with them Panthers.
Because they open carried to the Sacramento State Capitol.
Exactly. You know,
they have the right to have a peaceful protest, and they exercise their rights to the law, to the letter of the law. But motherfuckers was like, well, since the law said we didn't mean you, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody else can, but not you, motherfuckers.
So that's part of the reason why I mentioned that, because Gavin Newsom, whoever needs to put this in front of him, you really trying to work with black folks? It's some black folks out here that, you know, we should be able to just carry pistols because we can. because the Constitution says so. And the only reason why we are not able to do that now currently is because racist white politicians prior to you made sure that we couldn't. So since you working on all these areas of harm and the reparations, repair them gun laws so that we can, have the right to keep and bear arms here on California soil, because it's all connected. That's another area of harm that's not mentioned in your proposal. I'm putting that out there.
Put it out there then, bruh.
There's gotta
One
be
of
a
the
way to
best
do
things
it.
we can do
There's
is
gotta be a-
educate
it's
ourselves
not-
through reading.
It's not said and done. The law got changed, but the law could be changed back. But the push has to be made in order for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you just think the Davis stabber, they stabbed 3 people and killed 2 of them. If he knew he lived in a place where people was just running around with guns on their hip, I bet you he would have been. I bet you he wouldn't have been doing no shit like that. You know what I
That
mean?
should deter a lot of carjacking, robberies, and home invasions and things of that nature would be deterred if motherfuckers knew they're gonna have to deal with that first line of defense, not late ass 911.
Right. Yeah, because they pulling up late.
Because they already know I can go in this house, shoot, steal, rob, kill, do whatever I want to these motherfuckers, and leave and beat the police up out of this bitch and take my chances that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because the police, they're not the first line of defense. When somebody comes and kicks your door in, you got to be ready to handle that. Because if they're coming to harm you, what the fuck good is 911?
Well, if you don't have a weapon, you may not never get to your phone to call 911.
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck good is 911? You heard about them people? It was in Northern Cali, and they killed 5 people at that house. The pregnant lady shot her all out in the street and killed the baby, the 4-year-old, and all that stuff.
No.
Yeah, they was trying to call 911, and they was on the phone getting killed calling 911. What good is that gonna do?
Yeah.
And the police had just raided previously and took all the weapons out of that home.
We got to be knowledgeable and know what's our rights.
You know that they ain't got no guns now. Let's get them.
Of course.
I don't even think that it's right for them to prevent people with criminal records from having a firearm, because
They
it's
still need to be able to protect themselves.
Right, because what you're basically saying with that sort of law is, well, since you have a checkered past, your life is no longer worthy of being defended.
Right. That's true.
That's in effect what that law says. I don't know. I just think it's crazy.
That's just because a lot of people that have criminal backgrounds, the recidivism rate is so high. It's 80+% of motherfuckers reoffend, and so it's just that's why it's hard to push that line, because motherfuckers ain't reforming themselves.
No, I know that, but if you went and got a conviction, a felony conviction for some type of fraudulent activity, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you should be own a weapon.
Right. Why are you being held to the same standard as
that, though?
No, it's not. A felony's lifetime ban, period.
It doesn't matter what type of felony it is.
A felony is a lifetime ban.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy, because a felony in California is sneezing.
Right. You can wipe your ass and get a felony.
Felony in California, boy. That's easy. That is easy to accomplish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Auntie Derlin. Happy Mother's Day. Mama too. We love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Auntie D.
Yes.
Yeah,
Happy Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel guilty because I ain't checked in on you.
Yeah, I sent her a text this morning. I still
I
owe her a
ain't seen
phone
nobody
call.
a
It's,
text.
I did
it's
too.
it's been well over a month since the last time I talked to her, so I still owe her a phone call. Them texts that can carry you through, but you nigga got to pick up the phone.
Right. Right. Well, that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to everybody being together, because then we all get to love on her.
Who put this back up here?
I didn't.
Uh,
Put what up
yeah,
there?
I'm looking forward to it too, man. That's right around the corner, really. Let me see.
It's right around the corner. It's
That's
right around the corner.
That's right now.
Yes.
We might as well say it's right now, you know.
When I was making the schedule for the team this week, and then I realized, I was like, wait, after this schedule, so I just got to get through this week ahead, and then I'm getting my hair done on Monday. I leave on Tuesday. So yeah. Very exciting. Oh, shout out to my boy Khalil. He got recognized at the state capitol this week for being most outstanding senior. So he got to go. Now they got my son's name wrong. I didn't appreciate that, but nevertheless, it doesn't change the fact it was spelled right on the certificate, and he actually did get acknowledged from his school for being most outstanding senior, and I'm proud of that. He got to go and meet the senator as well, so that was really good. He's doing a good thing. I got blessed with some good kids. I really did.
No doubt.
Lonnie, you went there and seen him too?
Yeah, but the ceremony was over a lot sooner than what they had said. They said it was supposed to go from 5 to 7:30. So I didn't get off work until like 10 after 5. And by the time I got there, people was already leaving. I was pulling up like, man, this shit look like it's over already. It wasn't even 6 o'clock yet, you know?
Yeah, I was already in my feelings because I didn't get to go. And it, to me, stuff like that's a big deal. So I was like, okay, feeling some type of way. But then, like I said, when I seen him in his little paisley tiner, I was like, he don't need me standing aside him. He's a grown man. Like he got this. But at the same time, they said there's 1 million students in California schools. And they picked 198 students, and he was one of the 198.
That's a big deal. Yeah,
that is a big deal.
You know, so if you watching, salute Khalil. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We can't see that. What's that?
I'm trying.
You niggas be killing me with this shit.
Exactly.
I can't see. The lights are too sharp.
Is it a USB cord? What is it?
We can't see that, bro.
Fuck yourselves.
Oh shit. Yeah,
well,
man.
we came, we conquered. What else we talking about? Do we got any hot topics we want to cover real quick?
Nigga, you ain't cutting this shit short, nigga. Who do you think you is, nigga?
I ain't cutting that short. I'm saying, speak up, speak now. Forever hold your peace.
The only thing I wondered about is what the fuck is going on with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, me too.
So the late okay. So they were reporting that Jamie Foxx was on life support and that his family was preparing for the worst. Well, his daughter stepped in at that point during the conversation and said, "Hey, enough's enough. My dad has been home from the hospital and he is recuperating. So
right,
stop.
Yeah,
that just
he's been home for weeks too. That's why I was like, what's been going on?
It's barely being
this false info.
It's barely
information. Like they really had wrote him off. Had me taking Niche to work the other day, and I said, "I'm in my feelings." Jamie Foxx, the stuff going on with Jamie Foxx. He's my age. I know Jamie Foxx from In Living Color to the Jamie Foxx show and to all the other stuff before he was in the movies. I had a love for Jamie Foxx, so I was like, "Damn, not Jamie Foxx." So I was in my feelings about it. And then I seen his daughter had put that up there. And I just said, here goes the media again with the false narratives, making up stuff.
What up, Niche? Y'all got to forgive me for all the yawning and shit. I tried to go be young last night and hang out and drink and stuff. And
the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't seem like that worked for you.
These, what is up with our co-hosts? They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Shit. Stop. That's
They
enough.
don't get it.
That's enough.
Dang, either put it behind you, put it
You
in
know
the
what I'm
presentation, or don't do it. Okay, thank you.
saying?
Oh shit.
You know what? Eat a doink.
Eat a joint.
What up, Peach? Did
Hey,
I say that
Donna.
already? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm tired. You know.
Hey, Ben Pretty, I love you, niece.
Yeah.
This nigga bored.
I think that's pretty scandalous.
Bored.
That's pretty scandalous that I could have a slide that I can't put up, and if I send it to you guys, oh no, that should have been done before the show. But in the middle of the show, you can put up equipment for your studio. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Get that corn out of my face.
Yeah, this is a turn we taking real quick. That's just to start. But I'm gonna get the video editing software after this, and then I'm gonna start my documentaries out.
Okay.
That's very important, and I your studio's coming along nicely. It's looking beautiful. Once you get everything in there, it's no stopping you. That's dope.
Very
you better
dope.
have your ass where you need to be on the 25th.
Fuck up.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll be able to pre-record and I'll be in one place for that. That would be dope.
Pre-record?
I mean,
not
well, if
Oh,
he,
because it'll be prior to the day. Okay, yeah.
well,
yeah,
I know
no
what
doubt.
I was saying in case he has to go back to be home for work. Then
That's
he
what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
be.
We do it prior to the actual show day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you now.
Yeah.
But because Monday is a holiday, maybe he will be able to do it. I don't know. We'll have to see how everything works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gonna figure that shit out.
Let me know.
Do you hear this nigga talking shit under his breath?
Yeah, I do.
He's a
Oh,
silverback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit
Go
crazy.
run and go get something.
Well, again, I say I don't know what you guys are. You guys are beautiful to look at and everything.
Yeah, but I think ran its course, you know, because the reality is the first portion of the show
It's fucking
was
2 o'clock.
you know, it's
I've been
a
up since
lot of
8.
energy to get through that
No,
and you know
not
hold myself together. So
busy all day.
Right.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Want to hear that shit?
But did you guys like my poem? Did you like my poem?
It was beautiful. It was
Yeah.
so
hadn't
beautiful.
I hadn't wrote in a while, so it felt good to write.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
even
lovely.
thinking about picking up my book where I left off and finishing it. So you
Well,
inspired
you know,
me.
I told a friend of mine, she had wrote some poems, and I told her that she could get her book published through Amazon, and so she reached out to them, and she's doing that. So get your poems together. I'm trying to get my artwork together because they're doing their they're doing a you could present a picture to
Look, coming for me.
Y'all being rude to our
I'm
co-host
sorry.
right now.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
that's okay.
sis. I'm
That's
listening.
your daughter cutting up in the comments.
I see her over there, not just over. I hope that you present your pictures, though. I think that you painting your pictures was an inspiration for me to get back to writing. So I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this picture of this black lady, African lady, sitting in a boat gathering fish. I'm trying to get that together right now and see if I can present that.
No, Dan. No, Dan. No, Dan. We can't see it.
I seen Chucky, but I don't want to. So-
I'm so mad that I can't get this.
Oh shit.
Oh no, we gonna get that figured out. Saab,
Yes.
don't even trip.
Yes, we are, because I'm like I said, I'm going bald from pulling my hair out.
And I don't
And
work
right-
next
on the
Saturday, so we
edges
got
of your
all day.
thing, it looks like one of those old school films where you see people used to, like an older movie, how on the outside they have that stuff moving around. That's how the screen looks. But I think that's your green screen that does
Right,
is
right,
doing
right.
it.
I tried to
Sure.
fade it out, but it's not doing it.
I think it depends on the computer or something, because I mean, I got a little bit around my head and all that, but as far as, I don't have to touch nothing. I just put up the photo and that's what it is. I don't have to do no adjusting.
Me
I think
neither.
that's to do with
Chucky.
your computer.
Chucky
I don't
was a
either.
fool. Chucky
Yeah.
was a fool.
Yeah.
All right. So what?
Anyway, it's been a great show, everybody. We appreciate everybody for tapping in, all the comments. If we
Yes.
didn't mention you in the comments, we appreciate you for pulling up and giving your input. And we'll see y'all again next week, same time, same place.
Thank you for joining.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the
Mother's Day.
mothers.
We out.
And I love y'all.